Hi friends, Namaste. Welcome to Tutelage, the career guru for nurses. In this video, we are discussing 10 most important and expected respiratory system questions for AIMS Nursing Officer Exam 2020. First question. The ideal method of determining the correct placement of an endotracheal tube in a mechanically ventilated patient is. Options are A. Checking cuff inflation. B. Checking the patient's skin color. C. Auscultating breath sounds bilaterally. D. Assessing the respiratory rate. Correct answer is option C. Auscultating breath sounds bilaterally. Auscultation for bilateral breath sounds is the best way of determining proper placement of endotracheal tube. Also, look for the symmetrical rise and fall of the chest and note the mark on the tube at which it was fixed. Other options cannot help in determining the placement of the endotracheal tube. Second question. A patient who is diagnosed with tuberculosis should be kept in which type of isolation? Option A. Droplet precautions. Option B. Airborne precautions. Option C. Standard precautions. Option D. Contact precautions. The correct answer B. Airborne precautions. Airborne precautions are taken for infections with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, measles, varicella virus, that is chickenpox, etc. Universal precautions are based on the principle that blood, body fluids, secretions and excretions may cause infection. And the other option, standard precautions, are hand hygiene, safe injection practices and use of PPE, personal protective equipments like gloves, gown, mask, eye protection or face shield. Next option, contact precaution are taken against infections that are spread by contact transmission. Droplet precautions to prevent transmission infections that spread through droplets, that is close respiratory or mucous membrane contact. Third question, in a patient who has been diagnosed with acute respiratory distress syndrome or ARDS, which intervention is anticipated? Option A, mechanical ventilation. Option B, tracheostomy. Option C, chest tube insertion. Option D, use of nasal cannula. The correct answer is option A, mechanical ventilation. Endotracheal intubation and mechanical ventilation are required in ARDS to maintain adequate respiratory support. Tracheostomy is not usually the initial method for maintaining an airway, so it is not the answer. Nasal oxygen won't give adequate oxygenation, so that is also not the answer. Chest tubes are used to remove air or fluid from intrapleural space. So the correct answer is endotracheal intubation and mechanical ventilation. Fourth question, when assessing an RTA, road traffic accident victim, for possible pneumothorax, the nurse should observe for option A, cyanosis. Option B, sudden and sharp chest pain. Option C, hemoptysis. Option D, wheezing breath sounds over affected side. The correct answer is option B, sudden and sharp chest pain. The main signs and symptoms of pneumothorax include sudden sharp chest pain, tachypnea and tachycardia. Other signs and symptoms include diminished or absent breath sounds over the affected lung, anxiety, restlessness, etc. Breath sounds are diminished or absent over the affected side only. Fifth question, which of the following is an early sign of acute respiratory distress syndrome? Option A, elevated carbon dioxide level. Option B, hypoxia not responsive to oxygen therapy. Option D, metabolic acidosis. Option D. Severe unexplained electrolyte imbalance. The correct answer is option B. Hypoxia not responsive to oxygen therapy. Early sign of ARDS is refractory hypoxemia. That is, PaO2 level continues to fall despite higher concentration of oxygen supplementation. Elevated carbon dioxide and metabolic acidosis occur later in ARDS. That is not an early sign. Severe electrolyte imbalance are not suggestive of ARDS. So that is not the answer. Sixth question. At the bedside of a patient with a chest tube, what should be readily available? Option A. Tracheostomy tray. Option B. Another sterile chest tube. Option C. A bottle of sterile water. Option D. Spirometer. The correct answer is option C. A bottle of sterile water. A bottle of sterile water should be kept always at bedside in view that if the chest tube system becomes disconnected, it can be immediately submerged in that sterile water. After that, chest tube should be reconnected as soon as a new sterile functioning system is arranged. So that is the answer. Bottle of sterile water should be always kept at patient's bedside. Seventh question. An early sign of tension pneumothorax is option A. Tracheal deviation, option B. Bilateral diminished breath sounds, option C. Respiratory distress, option D. Muffled heart sounds. Correct answer is option C. Respiratory distress. Respiratory distress or arrest is the important finding of a tension pneumothorax. Unilateral diminished or absent breath sound is a common finding, not bilateral. Tracheal deviation is an inconsistent and late finding. Muffled heart sounds are suggestive of cardiac tamponade. Eighth question. In a patient with ICD, a nurse observes the fluid in the water seal column is fluctuating with each breath of the patient. What is the significance of this finding? Option A. Leak in the chest tube system. Option B. An obstruction in the chest tube. Option C. The chest tube system is functioning correctly. Option D. The patient is developing subcutaneous emphysema. Correct answer is option C. The chest tube system is functioning correctly. Fluctuation of fluid in the water seal column with respirations shows that the system is functioning correctly. If an obstruction were present in the chest tube, there would be no fluid fluctuation. If subcutaneous emphysema develops when air pockets can be palpated beneath the patient's skin around the chest tube insertion site. A leak in the system is indicated when continuous bubbling happens in the water seal column. Ninth question. The nurse should call the doctor if she finds which of the following finding in a patient with a chest tube. Option A. Fluctuation of fluid in the water seal chamber. Option B. Respiratory rate more than 16 breaths per minute. Option C. Fluid in the chest tube. Option D. Continuous bubbling in the water seal chamber. The correct answer is option D. Continuous bubbling in the water seal chamber. Continuous bubbling in the water seal chamber indicates a leak in the system and the nurse need to notify the doctor. A respiratory rate of more than 16 breaths per minute may not be unusual. Fluid in the chest tube is expected. Fluctuation of the fluid in the water seal chamber is a normal finding. 10th question. A patient has an ICD, intercostal drainage, and the nurse observes that the fluid in the chest tube and in the water seal column has stopped fluctuating. It indicates that options. Option A. The mediastinal space has decreased. Option B. The chest tube is in pleural space. Option C. The lung has fully expanded. Option D. The lung has collapsed. Correct answer is option C. The lung has fully expanded. Cessation of fluid fluctuation in the tubing can be due to various reasons. One of them is lung has fully expanded and negative intrapleural pressure has been re-established. Second reason may be chest tube is occluded. Third one is Chest tube is not in pleural space. Here, the option what we have got is lung has fully expanded and negative intrapleural pressure has been re-established. That completes the 10 questions. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.